just wanted to welcome you all here today. It's great to see so many faces. Obviously Tyrone had a lot of friends and family, and we're here to celebrate his life and to bid him farewell. I'm Tyrone's uncle, and it's my great privilege to share with you a few thoughts, and then I'll hand over to his father Robert.
Well, thank you, Ian, for those beautiful words. They really were amazing. I'm just going to put this down here because I need to read from this page. I'm not very good at using things from my mind, other than painting. We've come together today to share in the memories of our son, Tyrone Stanley, who has passed away early on the morning of the 3rd of November, 2020. Tyrone's life began 41 years ago as the first son to Anne-Marie and Robert Stanley. He is the brother of Damien and later the brother to Max and sister Amber from a marriage to Kim Stockwell and her son Luke. Tyrone is also a father to Asterix, his son and my first grandson. He's 18 years old. When Tyrone was 2 years old, we packed up everything into a HR Holden station wagon and travelled around Australia for 12 months before settling in Nannup with his new brother Damien. In 1983 we bought an old shop in Nannup, and later Anne-Marie and I got a house together at Gelbarrigup, where Tyrone spent his early part of his life with his mother and his brother. I later remarried, and Tyrone moved into the place in town with me and my new wife Kim and her son Luke. When Ty was at high school, Anne-Marie shifted to Margaret River so the boys could finish their education and graduate. Tyrone made a lot of friends while living in Margaret River, and after school he was doing a music review for a local radio station once a week. Not many people knew about. He loved music and he knew a lot of bands. When he left school, he went to the university in Bunbury for 12 months to do an electrical engineer's course, but it didn't work out and he didn't complete it. He went back to Margaret River and joined an art class for 12 months and did some good drawings and paintings. He lived in Busselton, renting with friends for a year before coming back home. He worked up north in the heat of the Karratha, doing fencing for a short time before returning home again. He's been to Bali, New Zealand, Eastern States, Uluru, and has seen the snows of Tasmania and walked the forest tracks of the southwest, and swam in her rivers and played in her seas. This is for you, my son, and for those that were lucky to have had you in their lives. I'm grateful to have lived long enough to see my son Tyrone grow into a man. He grew into a big, strong, handsome man, just like me, his dad. When I say strong, I mean he would lift up rocks too heavy for me. He could lift what you would think, no way, but something that would take 3 people to lift or shift or even attempt. He would just pick it up and it's done. One of his first jobs after leaving school in Margaret River was digging long trenches 3 foot deep for large plastic water pipes. It was sandy soil and easy digging, and he worked with a small team of guys. Tyrone lasted a week or 2, but they had to let him go because he was such a good worker that he did in a day what they would take a week to do. He worked through his smoko, and he couldn't stop him. But he didn't realise that you are supposed to take your time to make the job last all day. He couldn't understand why they weren't happy with such an impressive work. Ty was a happy person and really got angry, and if he did, he would apologise as soon as he realised he did the wrong thing, or said the wrong thing. He was very polite and thankful. One of his favourite sayings was always, "Yes, please," instead of just yes. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I'll go back. I missed a sentence here. One of his favourite sayings is, "You're welcome." And he never said yes, but always said, "Yes, please." It was easy to love Tyrone because he gave of himself. Some subjects you could talk about for ages, and all you could do was listen. If you changed the subject, he was still talking about the first one. He couldn't change the conversation when he had something to say. He knew a lot about cars and how everything works, He had a good sense of what life was all about. And years ago, he would sit up late some nights talking with me, and we would exchange philosophical views on life. He had a sharp mind and was very intelligent. Later in life, when he needed medication, his mind had slowed down and he became quiet, and he slept a lot. His medication drained him of energy. Tyrone loved art, and he could draw very well in pencil and charcoal. He was very good at woodworking, carving and soapstone carving. He was a very talented carver. He knew how to see the form he wanted to carve. He carved a larger-than-life naked woman from a log with a chainsaw and chisels. The Shire has one of his carvings at the old Tourist Bureau. He was a very good welder of metal. He was commissioned by the Nannup Shire to produce 3 stainless steel sculptures for the skate park as seats. He welded up a box trailer from scratch. He did a lot of welding. He won first prize at the Nannup Arts exhibition for his metal dragon. He did over 20 paintings in his lifetime, but he would give them away and sold few. He loved to impress the girls by getting a photo of them and do a portrait and give it to them days later. He would have been good if he found more time for his carvings. He was so good at, but he was reluctant. He was a reluctant artist, and he became more interested in rebuilding his cars. His first car he put in my shed. He stripped it down to the chassis almost. Panels are off, everything. He was a perfectionist and could not have a rusted bolt or a dented panel, even a scratched windscreen got replaced. But with his first car, he bit off more than he could chew, and he had to put it all back together again. He gave it to a guy in Bustland that needed a car without the windscreen. I caught him leaving the shed with it one night, very late. I switched the light on, and there he was with a pair of aviation goggles on, gripping the steering wheel, looking out the front window, and he says, "It'll be all right, Dad," and off he goes. I was glad to get rid of that car. Then he bought a Nissan Skyline from his friend Jimmy, and together they built the motor up. This car is already a hot car that would be driven by James Bond. He gave it to a new spray painting job and then back into my shed for the next 3 to 4 years. Time spent in waiting for parts to arrive, parts that didn't fit or had to be reordered, and Jimmy would help to install the latest part, and it all took time. After 3 or 4 years, he did finally get it finished, just in time before passing. Now I will have the car in there forever. I never did get to use that part of the shed. It's always had one of Tyrone's cars in there. 18 years ago, Tyrone produced a happy, sunny little boy called Matt Asterix, my only grandson. Tyrone and myself didn't get to know him very well when he was young. There was a relationship separation, and that made it very difficult to get to know him. Asterix and Tyrone were messaging each other for those past few months, and they both had the chance to chat with each other, however briefly. He loved Asterix and would buy him expensive presents for his birthday and Christmas presents. Tyrone was terrible showing his feelings, so you never knew that you hurt him or how he felt. When a loved one dies, you think back before his passing at things that were said in anger or things you could have said or done differently. But it's too late to say sorry now. He's not here anymore. And that's the stark reminder. He's not down in the shed. I can't find him on the couch. He's not in the bed. But I know he's gone, and I'll never see him again. My friend, my son, who had the biggest heart in the world, I will always love you, and you live in my heart. May his spirit soar and his soul fly back to the God and the creation of all life, to be reborn again on another day in another family. The Tyrant spirit said to someone the other day, he said, "Sorry, I will try harder next time." So may God bless him. I'm sorry that was a bit short, but that's all I could come up with.
Just going to ask Diane now to lead us in a song.
Oh, there's my phone. I was looking for my phone to message the people that aren't on Zoom. I thought it was here, but I couldn't disturb you. It was beautiful, Rob. It wasn't too short at all. It was just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's cool. I have been blessed to know such a humble and accepting soul as Tyrone, my stepson. On behalf of myself, Luke, Max and Amber, I would like to convey our heartfelt sadness to his mum, Anne-Marie, and father, Rob, and Damien and Asterix. He had a privileged natural childhood, along with many of his close friends. I will always remember a cheeky grin, not a full outrageous, but a smirk and a chuckle. You could really never forget Tyrone, had an amazing sense of presence, and will be sadly missed by whoever knew him. He leaves his genes in this world through his son Asterix, who can take comfort in knowing that his dad was an amazing and forgiving person, in his own right had an amazing work ethic and an accomplished artist. He was a decent human being, willing to help without a second thought. We can't beat ourselves up in life about not being around people we should, because they are out of our reach or immediately at our world. And in this day and age, that's the norm. Tyrone has brought us all here today together to remember his life. You do the best with the cards life deals you. I'll always remember you as a young man. As in the eyes of parents, your children are forever your children, regardless of age. God bless you. I have chosen to plant a locust tree. I planted it today in the backyard. I've chosen a locust tree because it reminds my children of Nannup, collecting, throwing and eating them. Okay, thank you.
G'day everyone. You have to excuse me, I've just had some eye surgery. What's that? And I've been thinking about this a lot at work this week, and what I wrote in my mind didn't come out exactly how I wanted to on paper, but just excuse me anyway and bear with me. Yeah, a lot to do with my eyes at the moment. I'm going to struggle, but where's Anne-Marie?
Right in front of you.
Oh, hey Anne-Marie. Dear Anne-Marie, Rob, dear brother of Tyrone, Damien. First I would like to say how sorry, sad and gutted I am for your loss. I've known you all my entire life, and Damien all of your life, mate. What an amazing mob we all are. But Tyrone, or Ty as most knew him, what a guy. Tyrone Stanley, Damien and I spent a lot of time together as kids, playing at Anne-Marie and Rob's place out at Jalbarragup, Darradup area. And I have fond memories of jumping the fence and heading over to Mick and Glenys London's joint to play with Bob and Dylan after leaving Damo crying at the fence. As you're quite young then, still in nappies, so we'd bail you. Anyway, and no pants at all, as we all did in those days, glorious younger days, as was and still is the best way to travel and get around, I reckon. Freeballing, we call it. Anyway, I'm losing track here, so Tyrone. Excuse me, it's better. That's okay, that's fine. Tyrone, as you're all well to sorry. Excuse me, I'm nervous. So, Tyrone, as you are all too well aware, was a softly spoken, quiet, yet complex soul. He was one of the most gentle, caring people I and I'm sure you all have the privilege of knowing, or had the privilege of knowing. As was Guian, who was often in the gang, if not too far away. And what a beautiful gang, if not too... yeah, and what a beautiful gang we had. What a beautiful childhood we all had as a Nannup mob. From north, east, south and west, Tyrone was also fearless. I can remember on many occasions getting caught up in ridiculous situations of fear, excitement, joy and terror at some of Tyrone's ideas of fun, if you will. I remember he had built this, or maybe even Rob had a hand in the construction of this shit hot billy cart out at Gelbarrigup. Anyway, Tyrone and Damien, not that he knew, and I were tearing down the hill from water tank to soak, way down at the bottom of the block. Anyway, that wasn't exciting enough for Tyrone. No. Tyrone needed more, so he built a ramp at the steepest part of the dam. It had quite a huge incline on it, and it was radical stuff. I wasn't keen, but I was excited. There was talk of using Damien as a crash test dummy, maybe even. I don't know if or maybe Simon was there, I'm not sure, but I vividly remember Tyrone fiercely, like a lion, but soft like a mouse, say, I'll go first. So that was good, he broke the ice. I don't think any of us did it after that, but anyway, he said, I'll go first. Needless to say, the adrenaline had us all pumped. So anyway, Tyrone takes off, cranking down this hill. He hit the jump, which was outrageous pitch. He launched and got fucked up. But Ty, being Ty, dragged himself out of the dam in his beloved hill trolley. He dusted himself off and headed back up the hill and said, I'll give it another go. He was sure he'd clear the dam, but it never happened. That was Tyrone. I remember Anne-Marie packed up the boys and moved to Prevelly. Rob had since moved into his Yoko Ono Love Den, where anyone knows who knows lies some of the finest and most exciting art that I've personally ever seen. Rob was always an inspiration to me and my artistic endeavours. Unfortunately, I rarely complete a task I undertake. I love you, Rob. Love you, Anne-Marie. Love you, Damien. Love you all my friends. And I love you all. Crazy peace-loving Nannup mob. Jolyon, one of Ty's best friends. Mates for years. I'm so sorry for your loss. Unfortunately Isaac's not here. Jake as well, all those boys, mate, they were the best of friends. What's that? Yeah, I was just pointing at Jake. Anyway, let me get this out. Sorry guys, I'm taking so long. Look, I'm sorry for your loss, everyone, and we all suffered a loss. A gentle giant of a man of ours is no longer with us. It hurts. It's not always fair, this life, or how fast it moves. But you can't turn back the hands of time. And as sad as it is, Tyrone is no longer with us. But he's still in our hearts and our souls. And all we have to do is look into our minds and think of him. And I'm guaranteed all of us will see that beautiful warm smile that Tyrone had. Anyway, I've lots to say, as always. You know me, so what I would just like to say, I spent the week thinking about Tyrone, Damien, Rob and Anne-Marie, as we all did, and what I could say to help warm your hearts and speak of my old friend with the honour and joy that he deserved. I had so many better speeches in my mind, in my head, but this had to do is, I think things always happen and may happen for a reason, and some things you just can't change or bring back. So I would like to end by thanking you all for coming and letting you all know that Tyrone may be gone, but his story is not yet over. He lives on in the memories, but most importantly, he lives on in his family genes, and they live on in his most prized possession. And I'm not talking about his rocket ship in the shed, that Nissan thing, or his bike. I'm talking, of course, about his son, Asterix Thomas Matthews Alfred Stanley. Thank you all for the time. And one more thing, Anne-Marie and I had a few chats about the idea, and I think most of you are aware, but and with each other and Damien and I, about having a celebration next year on Tyrone's birthday, or maybe his anniversary of his passing. And we're thinking about there will be an orchard planting with ashes possibly under each tree. There will be a fruitful forest tended to by Tyrone's beloved brother Damien, the master horticulturist he's become. Damien and his mum, and the fruit eaten by all of us each year on his birthday. And thanks to Tyrone for an excuse for us all to catch up and party. There is too little of that going on these days, and we've all grown too far apart from each other. And it's sad, but death brings us together. And Tyrone has given us a reason to celebrate, and I only wish he was here. Rest in peace, my childhood friend. Tyler, thanks.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, sorry.
Hello.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm Tyrone's son. Hi everyone, I'm there. I'm quite bad at speaking in front of heaps of people. Quite scary for me, but I'll still say a few things. Didn't really know Dad too well. I only got to see him once a year on my birthday, and he'd always give me expensive presents, as Rob said before. But yeah, nah, I like seeing him. I always heard he was an intelligent man and good at his art and a lot of other things. It's a shame I didn't get to see him more than I did, and didn't get to say goodbye, but came here today to say goodbye to him, and thank you all for coming, and hopefully I get to meet a few people I've never actually seen before. There's quite a few uncles and aunties and stuff I haven't seen before, so that's pretty cool. And thanks bro for that thing of Māori, that was pretty cool. I've got a Kiwi accent now because I moved over to New Zealand for a couple of years. But yeah, I'm Aussie at heart. But yeah, thank you all for coming, and I love you, Dad.
Thank you.
I'm sure Tyrone's with us here today, as he'll stay in our hearts forever. He'll be greatly missed, and he was my sunshine, and always will be. Thanks everyone for coming. It's great to have aspects here. It's so great he's come. Yeah.
I'm a bit scared of talking in front of people. I'm Tyrone's sister. We had quite a lot of years between us, so wasn't that close to him, but still my brother, and I know he was a great person as well, so rest in peace Tyrone. And spiritually, he still goes on, as I'm pretty sure most of us all here know, so it's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say how privileged and honoured I was to know Ty. I've been coming down here for like the last 2 years, living with Rob and Tyrone. And it really it seems, 2 years has gone, doesn't even seem like 2 years, it seems like a lifetime that I've known them. And, Rob and Anne-Marie and Damien, Amber, really made me feel like, I don't have much family over here, and they've really just welcomed me into their homes and into their hearts, and really, made me feel loved. When I first started coming down to Nannup, I was getting caught up in some crazy stuff up in Perth, and I think coming down here and spending time with Rob and Ty, me and Ty would go and have our little heart-to-hearts, and yeah, definitely a brother to me, Damien, Amber, my sister, always. And yeah, I'm going to sing a song in Te Reo Māori in my language, and it's a song about honouring life and honouring creation and honouring each other and embracing death when it comes, because there is life after death. Asterisk. I love you, brother. E te ariki, whakarongo mai rā kia o mātou. E te ariki, titiro mai rā kia o mātou. E te ariki, whakarongo mai rā kia o mātou. E te ariki, titiro mai rā, titiro mai rā kia o mātou. Tēnei mātou o tamariki, e whakapono ana mātou ki a koe. Tēnei mātou o tamariki, e whakapono ana mātou ki a koe. Aue, aue. Te matua te tamaiti, wairua tāpu e. Te matua te tamaiti, wairua tāpu e. Te matua te tamaiti, wairua tāpu e. Love you, Ty.
Anything else but love for that man. And I thank you all for attending today. You'll all be invited back to Rob's house for a slap-up meal. Yeah, who?